Yo,
This is going to be my fifth video looking at Stephanie Yostin or Stephanie Houston or Stephanie Justin. And I'm doing this today because she's posted a new thing since the last thing that I went over. So I'm going to look at this and break down what I believe it has to do with me, how I believe it's a direct response to me and what's going on in my life, how I believe she's still just basically a perpetuated attack on my being, and that this needs to be remedied because it's causing catastrophe and it's super destructive to society. It's basically a poison, and she's happy doing it because she's invested her whole existence into this, and it would destroy her ego and everything that she is to see it fall. So why not continue to push it forward? So let's look at some thoughts out of this real fast. So pulling this up, loving September weather, sending good vibes to everyone, and she's sitting in the like in a sunny kind of whatever. She's pointing to her hair and the sun on her hair, and she's wearing like this evil eye, like big, anti-evil eye symbol, and she has a watch on, and she's looking at the watch like saying, watch, like, let's go outside, sunny day, selfie. So she's trying to get over these concepts, and I think I could probably gather some other stuff personally from this, but that like there's just so much from it. I could go on for a while. So that she is still directly communicating. This is a form of trying to communicate at me that her whole being is seemingly something attached to me in a way that is literally a form of assault. And I've been going over that this seems to be some sort of public thing here that says a virtuous woman is a crown to her husband, but she that maketh ashamed is as rottenness in his bones, but as a worm in wood, so a bad woman destroys her husband. So like, whether I'm just the most, like, she's my wife in the sense that I'm connected to her in some way, or like in that way, like you're connected to someone most in the world, and like whatever, or she specifically tried to like get on me like some sort of venom suit and like do this to me as part of some attack by, again, what I've said is some foreign gods or magistrate, people calling themselves gods. So that this is actually a problem. Again, I've said a crown to her husband. Let's look at in Revelation. This says in here to, this is Revelation 2:10, and I pull it up because Stephanos, a crown, a mark of royal or in general exalted rank, the wreath or garland which was given as a prize to victors in public games. So I believe, metaphorically, the eternal blessedness which will be given as a prize to the genuine servants of God and Christ, the crown, wreath, which is the reward of the righteous, that which is an ornament and honor to one, stepho, twine, wreath, chaplet, more elaborate than the simple fillet. So crowns. Okay, do not fear the things which thou art about to suffer. The adversary is about to cast some of you into prison. Again, I was cast into prison. Let's look at that word. Devil, traducer. Will cast some of you into prison, and you'll be tried and have tribulation for 10 days. This happened to me over the summer. Be faithful unto death, and I'll give you the Stephanos crown of life, literally or figuratively, life. So that this is some sort of game that's going on, and it's like she's some sort of wormwood, or metaphorically, like, if as this is proving out that we're so connected that it's a disease in my bones and that it's affecting the entire world. Like, she's saying loving September weather, sending good vibes to everyone. Well, let's look at the September weather here. There's hurricanes and typhoons everywhere, even though she's standing in the sun. Maybe where she is nice. Where I am, it's, we're still seeing some rain, but it would seem like, probably not going to bother specifically myself too much. Especially when already being attacked. Okay, that millions face extreme weather as Hurricane Florence. Again, I've said this is like the Ark of the Covenant opening. I'm being exerted upon by, this traducer character, this devil Satan character. There's some foreign god, probably. And that, earthquakes are going on. It's literally like the Ark of the Covenant's opening. Because part of the point is, it's like a false empire that would exert over people in this way, that no one would actually want that. And, I'm being an example of defeating it through reason and logic. And, Jesus says, be as wise as a snake, yet as harmless as a dove. So, but once you get that, you're pretty able to deal with snakes here. So, being as wise as them. Again, Ahab. So let's look at this. I believe, again, that she specifically has been placed in my way as some sort of trap. As this says, nevertheless, okay, here. It even says this, I hold firmly, that you hold firmly to my name and did not disown your faith in me. Let's see, nevertheless I have complaints to make. Okay, and it says, where my faithful witness Antipas was killed in your town where Satan lives, nevertheless I have 1 or 2 complaints to make. Some of you are followers of Balaam, who taught Balak to set a trap for the Israelites so that they committed adultery by eating food that had been sacrificed to idols. Okay, so I've said in previous videos that I believe a foreign magistrate, some kind of underground magistrate, or some sort of magistrate, some sort of government authority, something powerful, has attacked me in a way that they shouldn't have, that is clearly explained out in the book of Revelation here, and that would seemingly be an attack by coercing some woman who I am so directly connected to that it's a disease on my body, that it's literally basically proving that I was alienated and executed, to hang, to execute slowly, to rot, to be dislocated, abandoned, to became disgusted, to be attacked in a way that has alienated me from people, from my family, friends, but not just that, that has literally, like, physically, since I was a child, hurt me. You can see, like, I'm gripping my hand here in a way. I believe I've been trying to communicate it for a while, and that you can see my hand, again, down here, and I'm gripping it basically in the same way, and this might be an indicator that they're saying, or that spiritually this is saying, this has hurt me and the people around me, and basically everybody, and that this is indeed, like, physically hurt me, like you can physically see it, and it has since I was a child. That C, that's the cross. That would be probably saying, Jesus, but even more than that, Jesus called Yo, Dad, Yah. That's exactly how the story goes. In fact, that's who Jesus says he was coming back as. That's who Jesus says he is. That you can look at this, and I'm trying to imply maybe this happened in some way that people are trying to cut me off in some way that is like I have some sort of venom suit on me again, and that she plays even a silent, quiet assassin whose sign language, whatever's in John Wick, and like it's like all these concepts are just repeating and just very obviously trying to seemingly get this out, or that it can't be hidden, it can only be kind of disguised in a way. So again, that she is some sort of attack on me, that I believe maybe she's been coerced into using her image, like image sacrifice, like she sacrificed not just her sexuality but her image to attack the person that she is most connected to, and it's diseasing me, physically hurting me. You can see she's saying like sending good vibes to everybody, loving September weather, but I actually don't believe that's what she's trying to get over. I think she's like a poison again, like wormwood, and you can kind of see here as worm in wood, and that's something that even happens in Revelation. There's something about wormwood poisoning stuff, so could be like symbolically she's poisoning the entire collective conscious by being this character that's like, she looks very cute and attractive and like chaste or whatever, and like she would be like a good partner and a friend or something, but actually she's just a terrible person who's trying to disease me and everybody and perpetuate an empire of death or whatever, and she's happy to be this character until she loses. She didn't think she would lose in such a powerful way. Or, again, I think there's a bunch of women connected to this, and that this is like the final iteration because it's so obviously turned my existence, sexuality, being into a game where people try to attack me and assault me, that like this is like the partner of the snake or snakes that have come to attack me. Again, Venom Snake here is the partner to this Big Boss character, and Big Boss is a concept through multiple things, so it's a way that people could hide this concept of who, like, you can just veil over stuff, right? And so people can sit back in their mental complexes and think to themselves like, oh, I am this person or whatever, but actually, like, well, there is someone who is that person, and that in actual context, not the way that it's being given in the narrative of this snake-like video game, but that it's like, again, empowering this empire that is likely not whatever, and by likely not whatever, I mean it's like an empire of death that no one actually wants to be a part of. It seems to be perpetuated by chaos, like where people aren't actually aware, and like she's trying to shush me down so I don't explain it because I'm the one who controls the empire where people actually exist into forever in happiness. So you see here like this concept of Trump, Big Boss, even Empire State, but there's Ray, that's my dad's name, so this also could be saying kind of license or whatever, and that this is, people are aware that this attack has happened, and that like, or attacks have happened in ways that are literally shaking the planet and causing mass cataclysm, because it's like, if you actually would want to move forward into a real world where, you know, these things don't exist, you would have to, in my story, deal with them actually, because not just it's happening in public and all this stuff, but the God of the Old Testament is making it very clear that his spirit resides in me, and that this is like an issue beyond just attacking people at their humanity. You're attacking God himself at his word, and he doesn't want that. So that this stuff is happening, but again, this lady seems to be saying she's very happy to perpetuate this and loving the September weather. So tell the people in the different places we're experiencing and who are about to experience these storms, and Yo is Lord of the Storm, it would seem I'm saying I'm being attacked in a way that I'm not using guns, I'm not using weapons, I'm not going punching people in the face, I'm not, even though I'm trying to show that I could through my Instagram, probably like John Wick, whatever, but that the whole point is that the God of the Old Testament does exist, the Spirit is in me, I've been connected to it for so long, I'm explaining it out in ways that it makes sense and manifest reality, that this is an attack on me that's really damaging, that this Ahab quiet concept is literally like, I think not only, okay, so here's some thoughts about this. The followers of Balaam who taught Balak to set a trap for the Israelites. So, who in authority could have set a trap for an Israelite, which by the way, Israel, he shall be prince of God, so and this is God prevails, he will rule as God, so not just prince of God, so like a prince, king, God, like all these things that to attack this person, seemingly that this person was attacked in this way, the Israelites, so not just maybe me but other people, but specifically that this has been made into a public game or something, that okay, it says Balak and Balaam. You can go on my Instagram here, and I even broke down in a spot some different points about this. Like, speaking of what the different names would mean, so this is like where these Phoenician gods come from, and Balak, Devastator. Notice they all have like this, and this is Balaam, not of the people. Jezebel, Baal exalts, Baal is husband to, unchaste. Baal. So, I think this is trying to make like a satirical comment, as is this. So, you see here that I was trying to get these points over. Also, Baal-zebub, like Lord of the Flies, and Belial, as well as Beli, so where Bel and where these concepts come from, Bala. So that this, whoever is supporting of this foreign god or whatever, literally attacked me in a way that is like, again, either some sort of foreign underground magistrate, some sort of gang magistrate, some sort of like, just like John Wick's coming for the underground magistrate, seemingly could be something like that. Could be some foreign magistrate again. Could be some sort of government here on multiple levels. Like, I'm getting over the point. Someone has attacked me and set this trap for me. This says Balak. I'm gonna get over that. Even though this Wormwood lady, like, she could, it's very hard to whatever. She even wears a duality, like, the Rorschach mask as quiet in her augmented reality suit. So, that girl gamer Gab here, game on. Friend knows what's up. So, that she's even saying Baroons. So maybe that this being a letter to the churches of Asia, that this might be who taught Barak to set a trap for the Israelites. So, again, Wormwood lady implying this, whether it's real or not, that seems to be implied by this situation, because I was even thinking, like, Balak, like, who? That name sounds similar, and then, again, this Venom weird suit that is trying to imply stuff to my psychology. I'm just getting this over in a way that people can understand this, or that it would be really understandable. So again, if it is, then that clearly explains it out. If it's not, then that's just some dumb thing. But that it definitely has happened, and that there is this person who is this devastator, a king of Moab who hired Balaam to curse Israel. So, then I believe maybe this trap has to do, okay, and this here has to do with a white stone and a new name. This white stone here has to do with, seemingly, probably this is like a big scandal, like it even says a scandalon, and that the white stone with the new name on it, probably the name that I'm saying is the name Word of God, that only I knew up until the point, I don't think I was the only one who knew it, but I definitely, like, knew and know it. Okay, so that here, it says a pebble, a white pebble, and here a vote on account of the use of pebbles in voting. In ancient courts of justice, they were like tickets or verdicts or a ballot. So a stone, a thing. This one's saying like that. This, and again, I've also been saying that as far as this scandal goes, it could have happened multiple times against me, and it could have happened, like, this lady could be some sort of example, like, where she's trying to explain it because they're pulled out and they have some sort of perspective, and that multiple people have perspectives that are pulled out, and that you can see what's going on in a way that would give you perspectives, but that you can't actually tell what's going on or have authority to do what you're doing against me. So that's why the things are going like this. Okay. I mean, you have like legal earth authority, but it's obvious that the earth is upending itself, telling you don't, like, you're already attacking me illegally anyway, but that this is saying like he has authority over everything. Now it's really obvious and he's going to be emperor. And probably go to a place that's much better. Okay, here, so the stone of acquittal, and then, so maybe this lady goes too far, this Jezebel character, and she plays partner of Ahab and Jezebel, and so I guess I could be trying to say that I'm Ahab, but where it says, nevertheless, you're encouraging the woman Jezebel, who claims to be a prophetess, and by her teaching she is luring my servants away to commit the adultery of eating food which has been sacrificed to idols. Again, adultery. And this footnote says your wife, the woman Jezebel, your wife, but the Greek word is, I believe it can be used in multiple ways, so contextually you'd have to figure out what that is. But if this is this lady that is so connected to me again that she's like a rot in my bones, that would make sense. And that it says I have given her time to reform, but she is not willing to change her adulterous life, so she's just going around again probably with bunches of idols or people pretending to be gods or something, and like not grasping this concept at all, like literally just people are gonna die, and then just like, oh my god, and like, okay, well, the earth is about to upend itself because this lady is seemingly, or people are exerting on me in a way that they shouldn't, and God actually is saying, yo, that's me, so there you go. Now I'm consigning her to bed and all her partners in adultery to troubles that will test them severely unless they repent of their practices. And I will see that her children die, so maybe having children as part of this perpetuated like thing to attach herself to me and basically assault me at my sexuality repeatedly and since I was a child, and like to break into my personal being space. I don't think you've gotten all the way in. I think you've just gotten to the part where you're going to be melted out in a furnace. But okay. And then it says, so that all the churches realize that it is I who search hearts and loins and give each one of you what your behavior deserves, but on the rest of you who have not learned the secrets of Satan. So again, it's the secrets of this person who's been attacking me, trying to whatever, maybe some false god, maybe again some human being outfitted by a bunch of computers and tech and all that stuff, but still not just getting the fucking concepts out of the Bible of what like being mighty or being God is, and then who the true God would be, so that these concepts of reason are actually coming out of someone, and that yes, there is a being, a supreme being, spirit over creation that did form all this stuff, and that it makes very clear sense when you see it acting out in manifest reality. It's very hard to deny. So let's see, I will give the authority over the pagans, which I have been given by my Father, to rule them with an iron scepter and shatter them like earthenware, and I will give him the morning star, so the dawn, again, this concept of they die by dawn, and that like the iron rod to shatter is like out of Psalms, and Jesus makes a lot of sense out of that. And okay, so that these concepts make sense, and that I believe also these are going along with the seals in the book, and so this would be like 4th and 5th seal, 6th, 7th seal, or have some sort of parallel with it, and that we're about to enter a time, either 5th seal or 6th seal, and that the 5th seal again is like a time where, let's look at this, men are the 5th trumpet. Okay, so this is the 5th trumpet. So again, there's like sets of 7 of things, and they seem to be in line with each other thematically, and they seem to follow certain parallels, whether they happen at the same time or not. They happen in the book, like the book has happened. The book is written out already, right? So that they're happening, they do in that way kind of happen at the same time, but like that, how they play out, like there seems to be a point where smoke, again, looking at a bunch of volcanoes because they seem to be active, that out of the abysses, which also there's like abysses of conceptually, like the abyss, I think Nietzsche talked about it. I think it's a concept biblically that probably if everybody just looked at these biblical concepts with understanding and knowledge, that they would be like, oh yeah, that does make sense, this was explained out, I've been fooled by some sort of spirit of the world which has been exerting over people to try to fool them, to keep them out of understanding themselves and what this is and how to prosper and live forever, because that's what God wants, kingdom of heaven. So that there's 5-month period, it says, where they were only told, these locusts or whatever, who were given the power of scorpions. So again, I think that this is on the collective conscious to some degree, and that I was saying this back kind of months ago, and that Scorpion, March 14th, I'm upset, and it's like almost this death figure pointing with scorpions on his hand, and there's a bloody looking or red moon in the background or something, and that symbolism seems to be on the collective conscious, like God's plan after dark, so like the midnight, but the dawn is coming, and so this would be where the dawn is happening or whatever. What was I gonna? There's something else I was gonna say out of this that makes sense. Okay. Well, Okay, I guess it's not on this, but that this power of death, by the end of it, Jesus has the keys of life and death. That's what the key of David. He who opens, nobody can close, and who closes, nobody can open. It also seems to be like the keys of life and death and all those things. And so that this person who's just death personified, keeping an empire of death going on instead of like an empire of life where, you know, if this person who thinks that their death or whatever is going on, that they can actually, you know, this person does have the key to end them once and for all, and that's done by literally being thrown alive into lava or into the lake of burning sulfur, or the lake burning on fire with sulfur. That would seem to be an indicator of lava, which is, you know, these concepts of maybe brimstone or whatever. I guess these could be symbolically other things, but it would seem to indicate if people are acting as terrorists and sexual terrorists, and like an empire based on sexual terrorism to attack me specifically, and it's like perpetuating based off this, and I would have to defeat it to like bring this other one on, and that is the way that this person, and that everybody is like, you'll end up like this person in the lava, and they're going to be condemned by God in the flesh to eternal burning torture by being thrown alive into lava. So, and you know, that likely happens after this cataclysm comes to a head, which would probably be the time of trial, which is going to come for the whole world to test the people of the world, as well as the like 5th, 6th trumpets. Those seem to be in line with the seals and 5th, 6th seals, right? So there'd be and the 5th and 6th plagues. That's why it's like empire plunged into darkness, men were biting their tongues for pain during the 5th seal. 6th seal, 7th seal seem to be like earthquakes and mass cataclysm of greater degree. Like earthquakes, lightning, hailstorms. Okay, that here's this star called Wormwood. So again, but as a worm in wood, disappointed. So, she that maketh ashamed, or disappointed, or delayed, to pale. So this star called Wormwood, and a third of all the water turned to bitter wormwood, so that many of the people died from drinking it. So maybe conceptually taking her concept in is like overwhelming, or I guess this stuff could happen and whatever, but like I think this is happening in public, and it's destroying a lot of people's realities in ways that are whatever, along with maybe these symbolic, like she could be a person who's symbolic of these things. Okay. So that the 5th seal, their pains of the scorpion sting for 5 months, and my assumption is that just like in the 4th trumpet, like this Jezebel character, I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's using, like there's these, it says that they're locusts, so out of the smoke dropped locusts, given the power that scorpions have on earth, they were forbidden to harm any fields or crop, but only to attack any men, or this could say people man-faced, who were without God, so that would include women, but who were without God's seal on their foreheads, and they were told not to attack them, but give them pain for 5 months, and the pain was to be pain of a scorpion sting. When this happens, men will long for death, and will not find it anywhere, and they will want to die, and death will evade them. And so, like I said in the last video, I think it seems to be like these locusts that have these privilege, authority, superhuman potentate in their tails and mouths, or in their teeth. And their tails were like scorpions with stings. So, and there's some Emperor of the Abyss whose name is Abaddon or Apollyon, destruction, like perdition. These concepts that I'm trying to get over here, and that this could be again like some sort of use of these women's, not just these women's, but people's sexuality in a way to, like these locusts. So locusts are like used as this concept of like this invading army in the Old Testament. I guess it could be actual locusts, but there could be, I think it's like symbolic on multiple levels. So just like I'm saying, there could be this lady who's like Wormwood, and there's a star called Wormwood that there's happening. Just like there's trumpets and seals and stuff happening thematically and simultaneously in parallel, like that there's also these other things that are happening manifestly and spiritually and all these in different ways. Like the concepts all link together in manifest reality. Okay, so that this happens for 5 months, and that's probably just like there's this period, just to stay awake, keep their robes, so stay awake, and for 5 months, and that's also lines up with this part here where seemingly like he broke the 5th seal, and underneath the souls of all the people who'd been killed on account of the word of God for witnessing to it, they shouted, "Holy faithful master, how much longer will you wait until you pass sentence and take vengeance on our death on the inhabitants of the earth?" Each was given a white robe and told to be patient until the roll had been complete, and their fellow servants and brothers had been killed just as they had been. So sounds like that maybe 5-month period where it says how much longer as well. If you look in the book, it seems to indicate at this 5 months. So so that at the 6th seal there's a violent earthquake. I've been over that, and you can look on my Twitter. I'm indicating that a lot. I believe that's pretty imminent. And that this seems to indicate a massive army as well as this earthquake. Maybe these earthquakes are also symbolic. I believe that there's, again, symbolism going across on multiple levels. So what an earthquake is, like, it could be an earthquake in this way, and so it's an actual earthquake that shakes the world. But also some people are like, go an earthquake, and that's like a code, and like that's also like simultaneously, seemingly all this is happening, going to happening, and mostly the part that I'm saying is there's actually, like, I'm indicating actual earthquakes. Like, you can see the world shaking in different places, in Japan and stuff. I'm actually indicating actual earthquakes. Like, that would show the power of God. Yeah. So, there you go. Like, if you're for people trying to deny God and basically create an empire of death and non-existence over existence, that's not going to happen. That's why the He who is and was takes power, because, yeah, you don't want to live in a non-existential state or to die into a eternal non-existential state. Just none of that sounds fun. Sounds like a Kingdom of Heaven sounds a lot better. Okay, and so that there is actually, like, the Ark of the Covenant opens, and there is this massive earthquake. Again, just, you don't have to look at all of it, but I think it says Can you see it? No, we can't see it. Okay. The Ark, undeniable invaders. So definitely believe that this is happening. Again, I think probably because in public, like, this lady was convinced to, like, coerce to give away her permanent sexuality to attack me at, like, in a permanent way, in a terrible way that all women find pretty atrocious, all men find pretty atrocious if you have any semblance of logic or reasoning or love or care or whatever, and that this whole thing is, like, literally the book of Revelation because it's the worst thing ever. You're, like, literally basically, like, I mean, I think the whole point is that if she was coerced, it's kind of like rape, but her ego is so invested in what she's done or whatever. This whole thing is so invested that it's, like, gone too far, and she's basically the harlot of Babylon, and that it goes all the way to the end, and, like, I've had to be connected to it, I guess, to prove that people are disconnected in reality or something, and that this gets remedied for me in a way, but that this attack on me is so terrible that she's like everybody, it seems to indicate here again that she's going around sleeping with people, so I think maybe she or people have, like, maybe, like, I've been trying to make this point, are attacking me and trying to mess with my social psychology and sexual psychology by going and sleeping with people that I know, or by indicating that she is, which I'm very much indicating that's an attack on sexual psychology too. And that the whole point is that I don't want to be attached to you in this way. I don't want you to continue doing this. I didn't want to be connected to this, like, trap or scandal. I guess that's why it's a trap. But that God himself is seemingly acting out, like, you know, that's who I am by the end of it, and that seemingly indicative of what my spirit would deal with to finish this out, that like, that this is not okay, that again, I believe people have been coerced into having children, either to hide this, like, attack, seemingly this trap set for me, or that, and, like, so basically their kids' lives they're part of some game to sexually assault God, and, like, that the world is crashing down around them and mass cataclysm is happening specifically because, like, no society could perpetuate in logic and reason in these means, and so that it's like, that's the end. There would have to be some sort of change and some sort of actual, like, dealing with this issue in a real way. And so maybe that's why that as this happens, and, like, I think people are killing themselves over it or just dying over it, and, like, so hold on, that there seems to be this point again of 5 months where men will long for death and not find it anywhere. They will want to die, and death will evade them. So, and it happens for 5 months. Again, I think it's in relation to this lady's been coerced into giving her sexuality away and maybe having kids in relation to it, and that the whole thing is, like, so really, like, messed up that people would then go into, like, just attack mode and start attacking stuff, and, like, some sort of Emperor of the Abyss would be using all the chaos and stuff to do that or perpetuate that, and that the sixth seal here seems to be an army, like, chained up at the great river Euphrates. These 4 angels were put there, ready for this hour of this day of this month this year, and were released to destroy 1/3 of the human race. So I think that, again, the 6th trumpet and 6th seal happens at the same time, so seemingly mass cataclysm along with this terrible scandal which is happening in public but not being dealt with in any way that would like fix it, and seemingly it's, if not dealt with in this way, like by a, God coming and dealing with it actually manifestly, that it would create an empire of eternal death perpetuated on that. And so that, again, that emperor, I believe that this emperor gets thrown into lava alive or killed in some pretty terrible way. So that seems to be indicative of what's coming for that person. Okay, let me look through this to make sure there's anything else. Okay, here it says, an attempt at the word beauty doesn't always mean showing skin. It can be found under the skin, inside the heart and mind. So maybe she is some like chaste lady or something, though I think this lady says, this person says, show more skin, you're beautiful, but you're always dressed up to the neck, and this person's saying that. Again, I think she's some sort of wormwood stuff that's like trying to, it says even here though, to be ashamed, to be disappointed, to make delayed. So she's literally like making me physically suffer, or whatever this is making me physically suffer, like painfully dealing with this, and has affected a lot of my different whatevers through life. And I think it's, the end of the Bible is basically like, you're going to be God, it's alright, or you're going to be the Word of God, within the context of Christianity that is God, like, within the concept of like, all of it. Yeah, that's, even in Judaism, that's what the word means. Like, it all makes sense by the end of it. But that this attack on me, or whatever this is something that is, see, even here it says, like, this was a thing where I've said, like, she's bringing up my cousin and, like, trying to make me feel uncomfortable. And it even says, dig. Like, it's a dig at me. And, like, she's just trying to make me feel bad. I didn't deserve to be connected to this lady. I literally believe that's the whole point. Like, there's someone who didn't deserve this. Like, Jesus, like, that's the third seal thing, or whatever, that's the pebble of vote of whatever. I didn't deserve this. That this is so atrocious that I didn't deserve this, that the world is about to melt down over it, because, like, you can't encroach into my reality like this, especially when I'm the one telling you how to create better realities, like, and fixing these problems with sexuality and stuff instead of whatever. I think that's why I'm being attacked anyway, because I'm the voice of reason to this, obviously, and, like, most people are super ashamed of stuff instead of super being happy and, like, fulfilled by it. And it's making so much sense more every day that you'd rather be fulfilled and pleasured by it than ashamed and literally diseased. So that here it would seem to indicate it can also be found under whatever. So she that maketh ashamed is a rot in the bone. So yeah, I don't find it beautiful that you're a rot in my bones, actually, and that I have to deal with this. Like, it's not comfortable. It feels like I'm literally having to, like, undislocate my leg over long periods of time, and, like, unbreak certain bones out of that have not grown right. It says to crunch, and I feel that crunching, and it doesn't feel comfortable. It hurts. Like, this is not, I mean, it's like she's trying to venom me to death. That I even believe, again, that I went over this here. Like, it's like a venom. And this would even be the serpent coercing the woman, like telling the woman to eat from the fruit or whatever. And it says, it will crush your head and you will strike its heel. See? And, like, that is what I'm saying, is like this strike on my being, that it's just like this, where Israel or Jacob wrestles with Elohim, God, magistrate, and he's renamed, and it's done at the face of God, and he's renamed Israel. And I believe, okay, I'm just going to quickly say, I think I'm going to do a video where I show some modern day stuff of this and just show an example of like, yo, all these modern versions are just retellings of this, and you could actually get the real thing from this, which has manifest power, instead of someone trying to sell you stuff to take from you. So, to take that, existential being from you. Like, okay, bone, essence, self. So she's like, again, that this was a attack on my being, my self-same. That, this is like, again, beauty doesn't always mean showing skin. It can also be found under the skin, inside the heart and mind. Okay, so my whole point with her is, so then why did you why did you start randomly showing skin like some sort of stripper bot? Like, the whole point of you was to get in my way as some sort of like person, and this here even is like, says God, Emperor, which is, yo, that's me. So you're literally trying to point to this concept. Whoever's acting like that is getting thrown alive into lava. So I would not want to be that person. And is going to be tortured in their conscious spirit and being for all eternity. Like, she starts off again as some sort of this character even. So this, like I said, she's like a fake woman or multiple women or some lady who's just using her character in some augmented way to attack me and whatever. So she starts off as this bridal, like, chaste-looking lady, and she has a dog, and she's cute, and she's, all this Barbie stuff, and she doesn't seem like she's going to then be like this, I am what I am, I do what I do, this is me, no strings attached, let go, be yourself, be free. And this says, don't let them bring you down. It's, don't let them bring you down, yeah, but you're the thing that's bringing people down. Like, you're specifically using this to try to bring people down. Like, this is not, again, in the context that we could have a super, in fact, that's definitely what's coming, but a harem, where doing this in private and stuff and having fun with this, but instead of, like, you basically turn yourself into a stripper bot, or this concept of this lady, like this image sacrifice that you've done, into a stripper bot where, like, you're slowly and indicating certain sexual contexts and sexual relations in different ways, and trying to say that you have different luggage, that whatever, and trying to indicate maybe sexual attacks on my family or through my family, or through my friends and stuff, and that this is an issue, and that this is probably part of, maybe even if, like, I believe I have this seal on my head. I don't think I have getting the pain of a scorpion, but it's like, if you're connected to a bunch of people like this, and you're doing this, and you're using your sexuality to, like, sting them down or whatever, you're using your tail here, and your mouth, like, with that, which has teeth like lion's teeth. So I believe maybe even you're using your sexuality to sleep with children, to attack me at my sexuality. You've killed the child and yourself to sexually assault a child. Like, you've destroyed their reality, essentially, to sexually assault me and other people in ways which is destroying everybody's reality. So again, I believe that these things are happening in different ways around me, and that like, this is coming to a sudden end again, suddenly. Like, that is a given, and that this is definitely still an issue, that this is going like this. Again, you're saying, like, she's trying to be like this confused concept, or she's like this wormwood, this poison, which is doing this. Literally, like, a thing to sever me, to rot me, to execute me. but yo, it didn't work. It basically ended up proving that I'm the one who's going to rule as God, and that, like, whoever did this is going to be thrown into lava alive, to be burningly tortured for all eternity, that this has caused so many problems for all sorts of people. People are dying from the pressure around it because they're living false lives, which are going to come suddenly to a crashing end, where they're going to actually have to admit that they've been attacking me in ways which are so terrible that the world is crashing down around them, and lives are directly being lost because they won't change their direct assault on my being. That, again, you can clearly see the hollow of the thigh. It even says the euphemism for the generative parts, so an attack on my sexuality. And it says the sinew, tendon, shrank, rheumatic, crippled failure. So, and I think even one of the things that she's trying to get over here is like, yeah, she did that, it's a smoking gun. Like, got a blue bandana on here. She was the one who did that. Maybe she's trying to indicate that she's this dog, or she has a kid who's a dog to her, and that, like, fuck you, like, she's trying to flick you off, or me off, and that, like, the whole point of this, again, was to attack me at my sexuality, demean humanity, demean my reality, demean their reality. That's how they get powers, demeaning their realities and stuff, and trying to, like, create this false reality where, like, look, she looks so, like, happy and loving and innocent or whatever. Well, maybe not loving, but happy and cute and whatever. Look at all, one beautiful woman, good vibes. She's sending good vibes. Really, it doesn't seem like good vibes, actually, when you break it down, but that, that's the whole point. It's like using liberty to attack me in ways which is like counter to having it, so it would like lock people down in their liberties, because you wouldn't want people to have liberty if that's what they were going to do with it, and so it confuses the whole thing and whatever. So that's the whole point, is like she's just like this confusing, like this weapon of chaos meant to like attack me at my sexuality, and like that this isn't just ended, is destroying everyone's reality. And so anybody in a position of authority, governmental or whatever or otherwise, or if there was some sort of games put on or whatever, there seems to be all sorts of stuff going on around this. It's like a crazy circus or show or something. And again, I believe it's like a movie that's about to end, and there's going to be a kingdom of heaven. So that's about it. Let me look through all these to see if there's anything else I have to say about this right now. Again, I think Girl Gamer Gab is pretty aware. Like, a bunch of people are trying to communicate me in different ways, and it's like, I don't think this is good. I don't think you're gonna feel good about this very soon. I don't actually think you do. I think you realize, like, this is really bad, and that people are going to be thrown alive into lava over this, and like, it's justified biblically. So, and that's the end of it. Then it's proved, especially after all the crazy stuff, that this venom stuff that's on me, and this venom like attack into my being, is not okay, to say the least. Let's see. Okay, I just want to reiterate this. Suddenly, right there. So again, it's like if you had stuff, even looking at what I could do from the future. So you had lots of powerful computers and all sorts of stuff, and quantum computing and stuff. The way that proving, God of all existence is, you would actually then be suddenly visited. You would be inspected by Jehovah of hosts. Thou art inspected. By Yo, thou art inspected. With thunder and earthquake and great noise and hurricane and whirlwind and flame of devouring fire, that all the, tech and divination and magic and drugs and whatever could not lock that up, and that's part of the reason that you're going to see the fierce wrath of God for perpetuating this. And again, you seem to be indicating the road to repentance. So, and it says rekindle. So again, that you seemingly, probably knowingly gave your sexuality in a way to sexually assault me, to assault my sexuality in a way that I did not want, to disease, discomfort, rot me, execute me, alienate me, dislocate me, cause me suffering, physical harm, and it's not comfortable. It's hurt certain opportunities in my reality and all sorts of stuff. So that's one of the reasons it's going to strongly end in the way that I'm saying it is, because you can't perpetuate realities with this being the actual reality. So, and again, if you've had children as authorized, you're literally coerced by government or some sort of group to give away your sexuality, and you are connected to me, you are my wife, in the sense of we're so connected that obviously everything coming out of this is disconnected, but that it physically is hurting me and diseasing me, that I'm been basically executed since my childhood, having to be connected to this, that whoever has it says your children are going to die, that because they're perpetuating, you're just having these kids as perpetuations of sexual assault, being coerced and drugged into this reality is not, you're diseasing everybody, even though you're saying lovely September weather, it's cataclysm in a lot of places. Well, you're going to get what your behavior deserves. Again, so are the people who coerced you, seemingly in positions of authority and power, governmental authority and power. This is the worst legacy to ever leave behind, ever, to ever be a part of, to ever whatever. So if you see that, I'm saying obviously people have perspectives on this. You need to say something. Every day that you don't say something, the pressure is on more. People are dying. By the way, I'm going to get on this again. Olivia Munn, you obviously are making points to say certain concepts. Speak with the words. I'm forcing this concept. If anybody's saying anything, this is me forcing this concept. If you don't say anything, then I'm very much guaranteeing you are an enemy of existence and God and true righteous sexuality and all these things that I'm saying. But if you aren't, then you are actually a hero. So there you go. Or if you are the person attacking me, well, then this is just the most hilarious way to pull this out, huh? Okay. Well, so what I'm saying, you need to say something now, soon. The pressure's literally on. Actually, the pressure is literally on. I'm forcing it. You have to say something. You literally have to say something. You're obviously aware. The staying silent here is not appropriate anymore. It's not okay. And again, I think it's probably feeling okay. You're literally I'm making my point to force this. So obviously you're aware, mostly because you've already spoken out about this and have gotten, if you actually do care about this, you would be whatever. And then the way that this pressure works is if you're just lying in public like this and compounding it, every day it would build in a way that is just more to the issue, which is what I'm saying about this lady, which is, at least someone in my life is causing this, and that's why I'm saying you should speak up, because I think you could indicate what's up. So, with some form of, like, oh yeah, that actually is going on. So there you go. That's an hour and 5 minutes, a little longer than I thought, but I got over a lot of concepts that I wanted to. And I've been reiterating this point again. This is definitely happening. This is like the end of the book of Revelation. This is the book of Revelation. This is no form of religion or authority in church or whatever could continue in daylight not acknowledging this. No form of government, no like the celebrities or whatever, like this has to be acknowledged. This is like the biggest scandal of all time, actually, and that's why it's exploding in people's face like this, and that's why, you know, lava. So, alright, that's it for today. Hope you have a blessed one. I hope that was worthwhile, and that you learned something and makes sense. So keep looking at this, keep aware, keep awake, keep looking at the earthquake reports, and you'll see that this is happening. Yeah. Stay blessed. Yeah.